Hi, I'm Monique Madrid. I'm with JAX Artist Corner, and today I have some amazing guests. Bertha Freeman Barrett, as well as Tami-Lee with Intake Talk Show and other amazing things that we'll get into. We appreciate you guys for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. Well, I want to start with you, Tammy.
Sure.
In regard to this wonderful company that you have that everybody in Jacksonville should know about. If they don't know about it, we're going to let you talk about it. But Wonderline Media, and then also, you know, the work you do with JAMS. Tell us about that so people can know.
Okay, well, first, I'll mention JAMS first. Like, I'm a local videographer, obviously, but 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, I give my time to the Jacksonville Arts and Music School. At the Jacksonville Arts and Music School, JAMS, we teach teach kids the arts, dance, music, and I'm the digital film teacher. So I teach kids how to edit, how to make their own content for YouTube, and just how to make ads. And I think that digital video is the future, and I think that's something that all kids should have the right to learn, especially kids in urban communities. So I just want to empower kids and teach them how to make their own content, and they do it. They have their own YouTube channel, JAMS TV. You guys check it out. But that's the work that I do at JAMS, and it's very rewarding. I have kids that want to shoot music videos, and you know, like, they're really into it. So it's just an honor to be at JAMS. Now, as far as Wonderline Media is concerned, it's my production company with my fiance, Nicholas Largan. And you know, we've done some really cool things last year. We had an opportunity to have an exhibit at Mosh Museum for racial terror, and we got some really great interviews from elders in the community. And you know, we do short films, videos, ads. We're just in the video production world. We just want to make content and entertainment. So that's what we're all about, wonderlinemedia.com. So, yeah.
Very talented, one. And you work with some talented kids, and your fiance is very talented as well.
Thank you. I'll make sure I tell them.
Yeah, please do, man. And then, you know, obviously, I hear you come from talented, you know, family members. So, you know, tell us about you. I know you did Off-Broadway, and you were a Christian recording artist. Tell us a little bit about that journey, but also, if you can, give us the journey of transitioning into this talk show that we're going to get into.
Okay. So I have been singing since I came out the womb, and that's always my first love. I've always wanted to be in the entertainment industry, and I was approached after singing at an event about a gentleman who asked me if I would, you know, want to be on some off-Broadway stuff. And part of that was being able to sing and act. And I said yes, and I loved it and did it for a while. And then I decided to make this transition because I've always been interested in the human brain. I should have been a neurologist, but yeah. But I always wanted to know what make people do what they do. But at the time, I was a single mom and raising my two beautiful daughters. And so I decided to put all of that on hold, make sure that they were good and they got through college, and then I could do my thing.
Right.
And so I went to school and earned a bachelor's in psychology and my master's in clinical mental health, and I am soon to go back for my doctorates.
Amen.
All
right.
In counseling psychology. So
your mommy is Claire Huxtable, just so you know.
She really is.
Just so you know. But anyways, keep going.
So I love it. I love helping people find mental wellness, because it is so very important to our life, because everything we do, we take in cognitively. And people take a lot of that for granted, and they don't understand that a lot of mental also affects the physical. And so that's my journey here, and I'm loving it. And currently I work with adolescents and adults with different disorders or mental health issues. And I love the times when I have these breakthroughs and you know, they can go, oh, okay, so that's what's going on. And most of the time is, you know, go back into childhood and all of that. And so I love it. Yeah, I love it.
Okay. So let's transition into this Intake Talk Show. So I know that you guys are trying to shine a light on mental health.
Definitely.
Like, that's the purpose.
Yes.
That's the goal of the program. But what makes this particular talk show stand out from other talk shows that talk about mental health? Like, what makes this special? What's the vibe that we can get when we watch this program?
I think the vibe that you can get is that we're not afraid to go there. Not only are we professionals, but we're not afraid to talk about issues that other outlets tend to back away from. But it's so very key to mental health. When I came up with the idea of intake, it was based around dealing with societal and cultural norms and stigmas, because society and culture it plays a very significant part on mental state. And so we just talk about issues that other media outlets won't talk about. And we're actually the one and only talk show, mental health talk show, with mental health professionals. And I think that's what makes it different from others.
Gotcha.
Is that we're not afraid to go there.
Yeah.
I agree with my mother.
Yeah.
Definitely. They're not afraid to go there. And there's a lot of shows that talk about mental health, but there's always like a stopping point. They don't want to get too raw or too extra, you know, when it comes to a person's feelings and a person's mental health.
Yeah.
But with intake, they're just not afraid to go there. And they're mental health professionals. I've never seen anything on TV or on the web where mental health professionals really sit down and have conversations with people about stuff that we all should know about and take seriously. Our mental health is very important.
Right.
So,
Yeah. I'm like, we talk about, you know, suicide, losing a child from suicide, and people tend to think if you talk about suicide, it puts this idea of suicide into somebody's thinking. But that's so not true. The more you talk about it, the better the outcome is that individuals won't commit suicide.
Right.
And so those are the kind of things that we talk about. We talk about child development, the addiction, you know, here in the United States, because we do have a very high opiate addiction.
Yeah.
We're not afraid to talk about that. What depression looks like. And it varies from female to male, and every individual may experience it differently. So other talk shows will talk about the baseline, kind of the foundation of depression, but they don't really dig into it and say, hey, you may experience it different from how I experience it, and really talk about what that looks like. And that's what we do on intake.
I love it. And I think it's pretty vital, especially nowadays, because it was always something that it's always been happening. But it just seems like nobody talked about it back in the day. And so it's like a new day where it's like, let's open this up, have these conversations so we can make more generations more empowered, and it can be less of a thing. I love it. I love it. I love it.
And not to mention to destigmatize a lot of these names we put on mental health, because you say mental health and people just get crazy, you know. And so we're trying to destigmatize that and and educate people on the difference between mental health and mental illness, and let them know that if you've been diagnosed with something or you're struggling with some distorted thought or anything, that doesn't define who you are. You know, it's like when you have a cold. I have a cold, but am I cold? No, I just have the cold. But you can work on getting past that. And that's what we try to help people understand.
And I love that your set one, awesome set design.
Thank you.
But I say that because it's like, it feels like a safe space. And I don't know if it's just your voice being so soothing, but I just feel like, you know, you and the other hosts, it just feels like it's a comfortable conversation to open up. And I think showing that on camera is vital, because then that way people can feel like, even if it just starts at home with just feeling safe with people you know, to open that conversation from them to just say, okay, maybe we need to go a step further and get you help. It just sets this vibe of feeling safe, and if you're putting yourself in a safe space, it's okay to talk about it. I just wanted to, but I love your couches too, but you know, that's the shallow in me, but I have to emphasize the safe area that you put the guests in, and the safe zone you make them feel.
And we try to bring that in, because of course when you come see, hopefully all counselors do this, is we create a safe space, a brave space for people to be able to talk without judgment, and without having someone put off their biases on you. And so it becomes all about the client, not about the therapist. I like to tell my clients that I lead from behind. You tell me where you want to go, and I just lead from behind. That's what I do. And so it becomes all about you. And that's what I wanted the show to be. I wanted people to feel safe, you know, watching the show. hearing about different things that affect the human psyche and not shy away from that. And to be able to identify, to say, okay, well, maybe I do need to go see counseling. And not be ashamed of that. You know, I tell people all the time, we're not ashamed to get checkups from the doctor. Hello. We're not ashamed of that. So why should we be ashamed to, you know, go sit down and make sure that our mental health is good? Because that plays a big part. And I don't think people realize how much, because a lot of physical stuff that a lot of people are dealing with is because of the mental. And it becomes very important to have these conversations. I'm hoping that we can spark more interest in mental health. People begin to talk about it more and not be afraid to talk about it. You know, not feel ashamed to say, yeah, I'm experiencing something, and, you know, and I'm going to a counselor, or, you know, whatever, because it's just natural. There is no, there should be no guilty feeling or shame in seeing a counselor at all.
That's true.
By no means.
And I think whether you have it or not, and it's or not, just having that checkup.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So, okay, you got this show and it's catching buzz, but what's the goal for both of you? So the question's for both of you. 3 to 5 years from now, where do you see the show going? Like, what does the growth look like?
Oh, definitely want to see it on, and this is from the beginning, the foundation of creating it. I've always wanted to see it be on TV. I want it to be another Oprah, another The Real, or
but I mean,
but in a different way. But my way. And so I'm calling those out because of the format of these talk shows. I want this to be on TV, focused specifically around mental health, to give mental health professionals a platform to be able to talk about the issues that are important to mental health. And so that's where I see it in 5 years. I want to see mental health professionals, you know, grow, and I want people to be able to identify where to find them, what to expect when I go see a counselor. You know, that's what I'm looking for.
My vision is in line with my mom's. Like, wherever she wants it to go, that's where I want it to go. If she wants to be on TV, I'm going to do everything I can to help her get there. But what I like about Intake, I want to see it go somewhere to where people of color stop having the stigma about mental health. And we definitely need to shine more light in communities of color and say that if you have mental health issues, it's okay. That doesn't make you a bad person. It's just something that you have. Like my mom said, it's like having a cold. You're not the cold. So in 3 to 5 years, I'd like for Intake to have an impact on people where if you're a person of color, it's not scary if you go see a mental health counselor. And people start to understand that people like my mom are really here to help you. And, you know, they're not here to harm you or do any, you know, like, being your business, being your sauce. They really want to help you, you know, take care of your mental health and you know, rearrange your life and things like that. So in 3 to 5 years, I hope that Intake is a show that people can look at and say, wow, you know, getting a mental health counselor is not a bad thing. And if I need it, I see strong people I see strong women on the show that do it, and I need to find a counselor that's just like that, you know? So I just want I want my community to just drop the stigma that, you know, mental health disorders is like a disease. You know, I just want the stigmas to go away, and I hope that within that time frame we're beginning to break ground and do that more. We're at a good place now.
You know,
so
it's so funny when you say that. Like, I was watching Issa Rae. I love me some Issa Rae.
Me too.
And, and she was talking about the superwoman syndrome, where we take on all these hats, but we quietly go through it, and we don't say anything, but we're suffering. So I'm glad you brought that up, because it is, you know, it does need to be spoken on, where they can feel like it's okay to say, I can't handle it all, or it's okay to say, you know, this is who I am, this is where I'm at, and I need you to understand that I'm not okay. So I love that.
And it's just okay to talk to a professional. That's what they're there for, you know, like they're there to give you an ear and like just give you some perspective. So like I talk to so many people and I'm just like, well, have you talked to someone? And it's just like, I can't do that, you know. I just like to see more people just drop that stigma. And I just want it to be a norm for people to be like, yeah, I have a mental health counselor. I go talk to a psychiatrist.
It's cool.
It's cool. It's okay to do that. I would just like I would like Intake to just make the world just a little bit better. You know, I'm just like, I don't know.
I love that. I love that. You guys will. You guys are, and you will. Now, switching gears a little bit, Tammy, I'll put you on the spot. So you work with a lot of people, and I know you even work with your fiance, but you working with mommy.
Yeah.
So tell us about that. Like, is it easier? Is it difficult? Am I not supposed to ask that question?
No.
Like, you can say, cut.
No, working with my mom isn't difficult at all. She definitely keeps you on task because we've talked before, there's so many things that I want to do as a filmmaker. I want to write, I want to shoot this, I want to shoot that. And my mom, working with my mom, she's just like, yeah, but we got to take care of intake. Let's get this done. She'll stay on top of me and make sure I get it done. So it's not working with her isn't hard. She's an organizer and I'm not as organized. So it all works out,
So that yin or yang.
Yeah, she was really excited in the beginning. And we had to talk about the editing and stuff. Like, I tried to do it as fast as I could, but I wanted it to look good.
Yeah.
But she was just excited, and she had every right to be, because her mission is just to talk to people more about mental health. And I think video was a great way to do it. So she was just excited. But that is just the only thing. But other than that, my mom's great to work with, And she, like I said, she keeps me on task. So, and every indie filmmaker needs that.
Sure. Yeah, like indirectly, you're teaching baby girls some stuff too. So, But excited ministry. That's what it is. It's your ministry.
It's a ministry. Yeah.
Because that's what it feels like when I watch you. It's like I feel like you've had it together all your life, but this is definitely your purpose. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool that you're able to help bring her purpose to life.
Oh, that's dope. It's been fun. Yeah.
My biggest thing with my daughter is she's very passionate about film, and even with intake. So I have to slow her down too, because self-care is very important to me.
She always roasts me about the self-care thing.
So you get your own therapy session every episode.
But as I edit, I get a therapy session, because even though I was there, when you're editing, you just hear everything differently than when you're not filming. They'll say little things and I'm like, I know that's right, and then I'll cut it.
Right. Yeah. Although since you brought that up, and then we'll move on to the future events that you guys got going on. But when you're editing, does it seem a little bit different to edit because every word that's coming out is purposeful? Like, do you feel scared is it scary to chop when, does that make sense what I'm asking?
No, it's not scary to chop at all. Like, I don't have a problem chopping it. Like, I'm obsessed with it. So I'll watch it like over and over again. And if it doesn't make sense to me, it's not going to make sense to anybody. So if we need to keep it there, we'll keep it there. But if I can cut it to make it a little bit tighter, I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the time frame doesn't deter you. You're more focused on what is being said.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I mean.
That's what it's about. Like, it was really it's meant to be an hour-long show, but there's so much content there, and there's so many things that I didn't want people to miss, and that's why the format is the way it is, because there's a lot of jewels being dropped, and I think that people should watch it. So
Okay. So events coming up. I know you have some events coming up. So tell us about your projects and then also your events, if whatever you guys want to share.
Okay. So one of my passions is to educate, and I'm very focused on minority and community of colors. Tamika said it best that we do need to break the stigma. And there are a lot of mental health issues within communities of color, minority communities itself. And so I am doing my very first community event, Let's Talk Mental Health. And it will be focused primarily, this one, on the African American community. And we're going to talk about predominant mental health issues with African American men, women, and youth. And how we can close the gap between therapists of color and communities of color. Because the truth is, not a lot of people know that we're here, And for some people, it's okay. They don't care who is sitting across from them talking. But for most, they want someone that looks just like them, understand what it is that they're going through. And it becomes hard, very difficult for them to find a therapist of color.
Sure.
And so I want to close that gap and say, hey, we're here. African American therapists, Hispanic, Asian, we're here. And let them know how they can find us. And so that's what these community events will be about. And we're doing the first one in March.
All right. That's what's up. So what day?
March 14th.
There you go.
14th.
Yeah,
Where?
at T-Posh Naturals.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I love that spot. Yes. Okay.
At T-Posh Naturals from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. And I have a great panel that's going to be there with me, mental health professionals,
Yes.
to talk about these different issues and allow people to ask questions.
Good.
So if they're wondering what it is that they can expect from counseling, if they're looking to seek counseling, I want them to be able to ask the questions necessary to help guide them in the right direction.
Right.
If they're looking for a therapist of color, I want to be able to create a spot for therapists to come in and highlight their profession, their specialty, and connect with the community to say, okay, I can help you do this.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Keep doing the work.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a hard road, but it's a
Yes.
rewarding when you see more people come up to you and say, thank you for opening those doors.
Yes.
Yeah, and I love that it's going to be a panel so that way it creates that dialogue, the talk, instead of it just being like a, not that there's anything wrong with it, but coming from a place of speaking at them, you're saying, let's have it a conversation.
Yes.
I love that. I love that.
Love
Okay.
it.
Okay. So for the people out there, how can they find you guys? Tell us your social medias, any way that they can find you, because they really need to know about you.
Okay. So first, we have a website, www.intake.tv, or you can go to our YouTube channel, Intake Talk Show. Remember to subscribe.
Yes,
and you
please.
can watch all our season 1 episodes. We're on social media, Facebook and Instagram.
Yep, as Intake Talk Show.
As Intake Talk Show.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about Wonderline?
I mean, our website, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Wonderline Media. Our website is wonderlinemedia.com. Yeah, you can find me there. All my stuff's there. And I'm also on the Intake webpage as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the Jacksonville Arts and Music School, please donate. jamslife.org.
Yes, get it in.
Yes.
Get it all in. Get it all in.
Get it all
Yes.
in. Oh, yes, and shout out to my friend David Emmanuel, because
Yes.
he's the one that told me about T-Posh. I would have never known.
I love him.
But
by the
yeah.
way.
Yeah, so yes.
Well, thank you both, Miss Bertha, Miss Tammy.
you.
Thank y'all both for coming to the show. I really appreciate it. I think everybody in Jacksonville needs to know, because you are opening doors. You are setting trails to some new territory that is, like I said, is scary, but it's vital and it's needed.
Yes.
Yeah, and everything that you do, you've been doing some dope work that's very purposeful. You already know your daughter's dope, but I love telling her
shucks.
anytime I can see her how amazing and how dope and
thank
how
you, Monique.
inspiring you are.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries. Well, thank y'all. Jacksonville, look out for them. They told you where they can find them, upcoming events. Watch the show. Follow Wonderline Media, Intake Talk Show. Go to the events. We appreciate you for watching, and we are out.